Hey and welcome, Kimberly Castleberry here, and it's another day on Facebook. And if there's anything constant about Facebook, it's change, and if there's anything constant about change on Facebook, it's that it's usually broke. So let's have a look at the newest chat settings and their integration into the new mail settings. Now, I'm going to confuse you a little bit because I'm running two browsers. What I have here is my primary account, and the only account I do anything with. And what I have in the back running in Chrome is an account that has nothing on it, that is set up purely for shooting training stuff. And this is Janice, and she's my test account. Don't go friend her because it's like lame. Okay? So the problem here is that my primary account has the brand new, full-featured chat settings, and yet does not have the new mail settings. Janice, on the other hand, this account has the old chat settings, but the new mail settings. And what this means is that effectively at the moment, everybody's seeing different crap. And your crap may or may not be broken, it may or may not be working, and then again, it may or may not be cool, and you may or may not hate it. So, isn't that about as indecisive as it gets? Let's take a look at this new chat stuff and see what we got going on. Now, you might have noticed, if you refresh, sometimes when you come into a page, if you've had it disabled, oh, I didn't do it because I've enabled it, it pops up and says, welcome to the new chat, check this out. Well, the most interesting feature that I consider a bug is that if you go to little settings and click not available, or click available to chat and turn that off, it should disable it and it should go away. Like the old offline settings, over here, this other account has an options go offline. Well, the offline settings generally worked sometimes. The available to chat rarely seems to work. It mutes itself down to the corner for a bit, and then you refresh the page, and the next thing you know, you're live on chat again, and people are sending you messages, and if you're anything like me, you want to kick it. And this is a bit of incredibly frustrating. So, that's that. Now, the next thing is, let's put these side by side. And you can see here that one of the things that's been lost is the ability to easily pop out the chat. And we'll talk about the chat pop out shortly because that feature actually still remains as an individual URL, but I don't know that it'll last. But it's really useful, so we'll get back to that in a minute. But easy access to it is completely gone. Now, in the old method of setting up this chat, you had your friends list, and you were either on or offline to the list, and then to the groups to the lists in here, you could either go on or offline to individual lists of friends. And you also, at one point in time, is it totally broke? I used to be able to drag and drop these, but I think that's also broke too. Okay? Because I can't drag and drop in the new interface either. But what I notice is that, coming back here to the new one, over here on the right-hand side, is that there's no indication of groups, no indication of lists, no indication of any logical order. What I have here is people that Facebook has dynamically generated that they think are most relevant to me, and it favors the ones that are online. So those little green dots, these are online. And if I go, let's see, I think Nick is here. Yep, Nick is here, but he's been away from the chat, and so he's been ignoring the chat, so it's gone to a little moon that says Nick is sleeping. He could be sleeping at the computer at this time of hour. It would not surprise me. He's been here all night. Whereas this Nicholas Choi, the little green dot, tells me he's online. The lack of dots tell me they are offline. Now, that is kind of similar to this old method where, there were little green dots, well, until you hover over them. Little green dots, little moons, very similar. That hasn't changed. That's very handy. However, you can't easily adjust your groups or adjust your lists right within this interface anymore. And that can be frustrating. And you can't, on the fly, just one click, go hidden from a list when somebody shows up. That was always a nice thing about the old chat. You could just vanish. And here, to set who you're on or offline to, we come into the settings, into limit availability. And what we have here, for some reason that wants a whole lot of my screen, is you can either work with a make me unavailable to or only make me available to. And you can work with both of these. They're connected, so one affects the other. But if one is going to be faster to set, say that you only want to be unavailable to 2 groups or to 2 lists and you have a dozen, then the only make me available is going to be your better choice. When you have the least things you have to click are going to be the ones you want to pick. So in this case, I'm going to do I'm going to do make me unavailable to, and I'm going to say like my family, and yeah, I love you family, and you know, let's just say we're the test group. I think I got some test teams. Anyway, let's try unknown. Okay, and so that will make me effectively offline to those teams. Now, if they had been in this dynamically generated list, they would have been hovered out since I'm not showing as online to them at the moment, and some others would have been put in here. The frustrating part is that you can't easily adjust this list. In fact, you can't actually adjust this list. This is dynamic and created on behalf of Facebook's little brilliance. But what I can do is often, unless you've got, you know, here, what I've got, let's kick off of this. See, I'm in chat, and I can see that I've got 104 friends online. But if I open this, I can't easily see who's online, which is a problem. So if I want to know if Tracy is online, I start typing her name in the little search, and it filters down to her. Well, that's all fine and dandy, except that I'm a visual kind of girl, and I like to see, you know, when people are around, and I like the fluidity of looking at a Skype window and just dragging it down and seeing who's online right away. This I'm not very happy with. Click the X to clear it out. Let's see, I got Epiphany is online, and Epiphany's got something interesting going on because she's connected with an app, and if I do test, oh no, she's not connected with an app. She's actually here. Let's see if she's here. Okay, so I sent Epiphany a message, and that really is all there is to it. She may or may not reply back. A lot of people, you know, they don't actually watch the chat. So let's open this up again, and I'm going to close that for a minute, minimize it down there. Let's see who might actually be here. Yeah, it's Emma that's got I believe Emma's on a mobile. And if I do, hey Chica, here we go. And it says she's using an application to access the chat. To send her a message, I need to change my settings to enable friends using applications to see when I'm online. That's a new setting to me, and I'm still in the process of sorting out exactly where that's hidden. But if you're going to be engaging back and forth to all the mobile devices, and I will assume that that is what this is connecting to, you're going to want to go ahead and enable that. I'm going to do setting is saved. So it says that changed, it went through. So the little pop-up showed up for her, but you know, it's an auto response. She's not actually there. Testing the Facebook chat settings. Okay, so we got that going on. We figure out what's going on. She's not actually there at the moment. That's all cool. So let's see who else is here. Okay. Oops, let me click on that one time. Okay. Now, let's go back to Janice for a moment. And Janice has my primary account in her friend list. And, you know, it's down here where on this account, if I open this, let's close that. Whoops, that wasn't what I wanted to do. If I close this and look here, I can do Janice. And she's showing as an offline group at the moment, but, whoa, wrong one. Yes. Why is it? Oh, okay. So here I have this box. I open this chat box between them. Okay, and so one's talking to the other. And even though one is on the old chat interface and one is on the new chat interface, the connectivity is there. They cross-talk just fine. It doesn't seem to matter if somebody is on the old chat or the new chat. We're going to say test 1. I'm going to send that over to my Kim account, and we're going to come from my Kim account. Over here we see test 1. And we're going to go from my Kim account, test 2, and we're going to go back, and we're going to see test 2. Okay, all fine and dandy. Now, something else that we want to look at is if we come up into messaging. And I'm going to come into messaging. The new chat interface is 100% tied into the new messaging format. And so what you can see here is my original tests as well as the tests I just sent. And then I have this complete and total chat log. Now I can also do from here. Now remember, I'm in Janice's account because she has the new messaging system. I can do test of new message system integration 1. Okay. And I come back over to the other account. And what I see is that I have a notification for a message. Click on that. But that here, okay, let's see if I can show you this side by side. Okay, look at the very different logs here. This is very telling of the difference between the old messaging system, which has no integration with the chat and the new subsystems, and the new messaging system, which has full integration with the chat and subsystems. And so if you are sending discussions back and forth in between messaging and chat and SMS, and somebody's like, I missed something, you know, where is this log? What are you reading? And you're like, it's right here. Just it's in your inbox. Well, it may not be. And this, the old system, doesn't really have a way to manipulate that any. But if I come back here into the new system, and I come into, here I am, I'm in the chat with Janice. So this is the thread with Janice. And it has, you know, things I've sent as messages and things I've sent as chat. I'm going to go actions. I can do a number of things here. I can open them in chat. So I pulled everything but the messages. I pulled the chat components back into chat. I can go archive. I can delete messages. I can report as spam, block user, move to other, mark as unread. I have any number of options there. Now, because I also have some ongoing stuff here, when I come to settings in the little chat box, I also have see full conversation, which loads the full messaging set. And I also have clear window. And I also have add friends to chat. So if I wanted to get a third person into this discussion, or a fourth or a fifth, I add people into this discussion, pull them in. Now you can have a three-way something, and you know, an ongoing discussion back and forth, pull them into the chat, and that's pretty cool. That's really fluid. You know, the clear window can be handy in a pinch. I mean, it's just absolutely gone. And the neat thing is, if I come back from here and if I go open in chat, you see it's actually still gone from chat, even though it's retained in the messaging system. Now, in the old style chat, we had a lot of emphasis on lists because lists were how we were going to get any work done. If we didn't have lists, we weren't able to easily, you know, invite and, or not invite, but able to disable who could see us, enable who could see us, hide from certain groups, and only enable certain visibility to certain lists when we needed to find someone. And on the new system, we have that, but it's not nearly as fluid. There we go, and Emma replied. We're going to find out what she's using. And so we don't have an easy way to duck from different lists on the fly. However, we still have a real focus on lists. And so for that, what we can do is we can grab a hold of, let me open this out. We can go to the actual URL for the pop-out, http www.facebook.com/presence/popout.php. And the pop-out chat loads in its own little window. And this is rather fascinating because this is still the old chat. And this is still the old format with the ability to enable and disable visibility to certain lists and to manipulate this in the manner that we're very used to. And I actually can, if I find Emma in here real quick. There we go. I open up the chat. So here's the chat I was having with her. So you can see that this was a chat had in the new interface, but I just pulled it into the pop-out chat interface. which is really fascinating that it integrates so well that it did not have a hiccup with that per se, and that you can, you know, easily manipulate these individual lists here. So I'll go offline to those real quick. And I didn't have to go back into the new format. Let me pull that out real quick and see what we, oh no, I don't want to. Yeah, and Emma says she's using Digsby to connect. So yeah, that's why I got an application approval. But this is really handy, this ability to use the present/popout.php. And I think for a lot of us that have been used to micromanaging our lists this way, this is probably what we're going to be forced into doing. It's very annoying that we don't have an easier way to have this granular control in the new setup. And that's really frustrating. Now, what this still does, regardless of whether you're in the old interface or the new one, all of the emphasis is still on Facebook lists. It still is on using those lists and using them for privacy control and using them for visibility control. And so if you're not setting up lists, you're still missing the boat. And that is where Google's new circles really got it right. Google's new circles made it very easy to set up lists and use that for privacy control. For Facebook, there is the new so-called circle hack, and that can be a really interesting way to quickly set up your lists and, you know, to get them in the right people in the right boxes, because Google's circle format was very easy to use, unlike the very cumbersome method of setting up Facebook lists. And so you may want to look into the browser extension called Circle Hack for Facebook if you want to make setting up your lists on Facebook a lot easier. And I think that we can look at, you know, Google as having kind of found something that Facebook should have found, and we'll be interested to see if Facebook will make that a formality, since Circle Hack is not actually part of Facebook. It's a supplement. And that this is how we are dealing with chat these days, and as the integration continues with the ongoing Skype integration and the ongoing further and further integration into the new messaging system, which we're still seeing rolled out. As I said, you know, this account over here, still my primary account, still doesn't have the new messaging system. You gotta love it. Now, yeah, I could use an invite system to get it in, but I want to see when this account eventually gets here naturally, or if it remains the odd dog out. And so, you know, this is what you're looking at depending on which set of tools you have at your disposal at the moment. There's a chance you have the old messaging and the old chat, and you're waiting on new toys. And if so, you got a lot to look forward to, particularly with the message system. But of course, the message system brings with it additional spam, and then the new chat system brings with it additional headaches. So I don't know, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I hope this tutorial found you well. I hope you enjoyed this overview into what settings you want to use, and to taking a look at the new chat interface for Facebook. And if you got any questions at all, I hope you'll leave your thoughts and comments in the box below. You take care and have a wonderful day.